Musing While Boozing.
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I know.
Hey everybody, brand new podcast. Hope everybody's doing great out there. Enjoying your weekends, or such as it is whenever you're listening to this. This morning was a bit of a slow get up, but I got up, went to go see Gracie play some volleyball at her school. Made me again relive your past, thinking, oh, I could still do that. And the next thing I know, I was founding myself, Googling, adult co-ed volleyball, and then stopped and had a reality check and said, oh yeah, these knees are 42 years old. I'm not sure this is still going to happen, but it's always nice to think you can still get things done. Anyways, brand new podcast today. Today's podcast is brought to you by the official beverage sponsor of Musing While Boozing. That's right, we're talking about Brazen Hall. A lot of our listeners are in the Winnipeg area, so if you are coming by, please make sure to check them out. The website's in the show notes below, brazenhall.ca. This is Winnipeg's premier brew pub, fairly new establishment. It's run by a great man named Christian and his brewmaster there named Jeremy. And I encourage everybody to come by, check out what Jeremy's been brewing. Of course, it's a microbrewery, so he's in complete control and is always throwing something new on the taps. We hope to have on the show sometime soon, and to talk about just one of his inspirations, his history, where he's coming from. But a fascinating guy in a fascinating place. Has a bit of a Nordic Viking theme to it, and I absolutely love the fact. And of course, the name is Brazen Hall. So I'll have the show notes in there. They have specials every day of the week. The one that stuck out that I actually took my boss down for last week, I call it Triple B, but on Tuesdays, they have Wild Tuesdays, and you get a beer, a shot of bourbon, and a slice of their house thick-cut bacon that's done up in like a sweet sauce with peppercorns. I gotta tell you, the thing is amazing. You're really gonna feel like a man, have a shot of whiskey, beer, and a piece of bacon, and you really can't go wrong. And again, that's found at Brazen Hall. I encourage all our listeners from the Winnipeg area to go and please check them out. In addition, today's podcast is, of course, brought to you by, we're continuing again showing you what other podcasts are out there. And there's one that reached out to us and coincidentally is very similar to ours. And of course, we always want to encourage. So for the fans that are out there that continue to listen to Musing While Boozing, if you like to, find another group that's more of a recorded hangout, some interesting conversation, sometimes it gets a little bit not safe for work, then you want to check out the No But Seriously podcast. And here's their promo they sent us, so please take a listen.
We all remember the fun conversations we used to have at the lunch table. Sometimes they were pretty deep.
Where there's a lot of things we learned about how to use the internet safely, how to use our voice intelligently. These were not lessons that we were ever taught as kids.
And most times they really weren't.
I could forgive a woman for thinking a pinky up the butt was something you might want, and you can correct that and you can still have a good night. Cocks and asses are a fact of life. Really?
Me and Matt are both B cups. I wouldn't be surprised.
Dude, I wasn't comparing titty size, okay?
I wouldn't be surprised if anyone thought we were the same guy.
This is No But Seriously. You can find us on Google Play and iTunes.
Again, those are the boys from No But Seriously, so please, if it sounds interesting, give them a listen. Today's podcast gets back to the essence of Musing While Boozing. This was one that recorded a little while back, but done late at night. Just Mike and myself. We had gotten together, had a few drinks, and really got to explore some ideas we hadn't touched upon yet. And some of the usual hitters like conspiracies and kids are in there, but it was a very free-form conversation that I thought, again, explored a few things, checked a few things out. Oh, that's pets running around the background there. Good ambience here from Musing While Boozing. But yeah, it was a great show. I seriously love the opportunities when we get together, and I'm always excited because we sit down with not a lot of topics prepped to see where the conversation goes, and that's something that Mike and I always share. So hope you enjoy. Check it out. It should be a good time. Keep sending in your feedback. Hit us up on Twitter, on Instagram. Of course, if you check the link in the show notes, you'll see we actually have merch for sale too, so you can get get your Musing While Boozing swag. And of course, there's the Patreon account that is still sitting at currently 0 patrons. But if anyone would love to support us in any way, shape, or form, again, all the links are in the show notes. So please check it out. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy, team, and keep musing while boozing.
Musing while boozing, because the best thinking happens while drinking. Hot topics over cold drinks.
No time.
You gotta get a refill, or?
Yeah, sure, if you got one. Here. Yes, we're back. Boom. Mike's picked up everything.
Yeah.
Oh. It's working.
Alright.
Working evenings are tough. Not kidding.
Yeah, nobody wants to work evenings, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, especially the class I went to go visit. I went and saw one of the Tax Pro classes tonight. Well, 2 of them, actually, to do the presentation. And the second I got to was already had sent some people home because we have a class. And, I mean, there's a lot of... our typical average student is Filipino, female, age between 30 and 45.
They know numbers?
Well, yeah, they can do numbers. Yeah, they're, the side of rice, they can always do numbers. Anyways, and so also incredibly nervous, right? So because of the weather, a bunch of them, like, either husbands were swinging by to pick them up and they were leaving because the roads were getting bad. So they were a little bit pissed that I showed up to do the presentation tonight. They're nervous because they wanted to get out of class early, and I ate up like 25 minutes of their time by doing a presentation. But they, some of them had already gone because they were worried about the weather, because we did get snow, slush, sleet, whatever you want to call it. Slow. That's what they should call it. Slut and snow? Slush and snow is slow, because that's what the traffic was.
According to my radar app, the storm has passed, so it should be safe.
Yeah, Wendy's got to drive home tomorrow from Clear Lake, so that would be good if the weather was fine. But I wanted to tell you a story of what I saw when I was driving. I was down on Pembina, 1921 Pembina, so basically just across the street and a little bit farther towards the bridge from Armadale. Sort of like across, there's Armadale.
Armadale Halls?
Yeah, I was down 1921 Pembina. We were like 1755 Pembina or whatever it was. Anyway, so I was at the H&R block there.
What's that bar called now? Scandals?
Wow.
No, used to be Scandals?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, dude. We're old.
All right.
Anyways, so I was leaving there, and then I was going south on Pembina to U-turn because I had to go to McPhillips afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So I had to head north on Pembina Highway. Well, I'm about to... I get on the Pembina, I'm driving south, and I stop at the first light, and there's that where people can come in from, used to be called Earl's or whatever. Anyways, this guy's waiting to turn left. I'm waiting at a light to watch him. There's this lady in front of him who... She is in front of me and went too far, and then as this is turning green to go here, this lady got so confused or whatever, and I mean, typical lady, I say that not to be sexist.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit sexist, but anyways,
No,
she was a female Filipino driver, got confused, panicked, and stopped in front of this guy who had just started to go, and she's just basically parked her car like so to force him to T-bone. Well, he didn't hit her. Fucking stops, and I'm behind her, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at her, and she's just oblivious.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
doesn't know right, wrong.
That's not right or wrong or anything. And okay, the driver of the car, he's I can't pull it much. 260 pounds, big ass fucking Indian.
Yeah, and he's angry.
And he's angry, but driving a really nice truck. Like looks like a nice guy, but whatever. But yeah, clearly pissed off. And he's laying on the horn. And the lady's like looking around, her hands on the steering wheel, like whatever. This guy reaches into, I don't know, all of a sudden I see his arm out, and he throws a fucking Gatorade bottle at her fucking car. And boom. Now this lady is older, and weighs maybe like 150 some pounds. Or, anyways, so then she gets her car straightened out. He pulls past, she lays on the horn, and starts to follow him.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm doing a U-turn there, because that's, it's a U-turn legal able spot, so I'm following this.
You're in hot pursuit, yeah.
What is her goal here? This guy could get out of the car. He already has shown a propensity for violence.
Yes.
And I think
in classic
sometimes
Winnipeg style.
Yeah, I think sometimes
some girls,
It's
women,
deserved.
whatever, will, because the option of violence in their mind, like
It's
she's never,
not an
she's
option.
never been in a fight.
Yeah.
She's thinking this guy's gonna come out and fucking pile her. And this guy, like, whatever, but nothing ended up happening. But it got me thinking as I'm driving north, because he just had a big truck and it was 4x4 and pulled out, and her little fucking Datsun,
Oh, yeah.
he's gone. He's left. You just leave her behind.
I like the Datsun.
Yeah, well, but my point is that, like, if he pulled over, was she going to get out and confront him?
Oh, yeah.
Because-
And talk about it.
Oh, yeah, well, he wasn't going to talk. He already threw a
Yeah.
fucking bottle at her car. So,
Just back to the Datsun. Do you remember those standards back in the day? Man, those things could go.
oh,
The old Datsun.
well, I had the Stanza, which was a ripoff of the Datsun.
Yes.
Yeah, that one wasn't standard though. The Omni was standard. The other one was just fucking automatic. But
Yeah, I loved the Datsun growing up.
yeah,
Anyways,
you had the Pinto.
Yeah, I had the Pinto, all right.
Talk about exploding while getting rear-ended. Just before we started the recording here, I introduced Mike to the world of Joey Coco Diaz.
Coco Diaz, yes.
And we watched some
Crazy
of
bastard.
Joey's periscopes on Twitter before we started to do the episode tonight. And
I don't know how that guy survived. He is smoking weed every 2 minutes, eating jellies and
just massive bong hits. The guy was incredible. He was just like, it was like he was panicking, like someone was going to take away the weed.
Yeah.
He was like, boom, 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 and then he like, oh, you gotta drink water, motherfuckers.
I wonder if he was a spokesperson for the Colorado movement.
Oh well, he went to jail out of Colorado at one point. He did some time for what turned out to be a kidnapping charge or what have you. So
yeah.
yeah, it was pretty funty. The guy has lived quite a life, and now he's selling out theaters and shit. So
Speaking of road rage, I witnessed an event too the other day when I was going to get some hot tub parts. It was on Route 90 there, and this guy was with his family, and he was a big burly construction guy in his construction vest, and just taking his time. Right, he was just going slow, way slower than he should have been. Right.
yeah.
Well, the guy behind him didn't like that, and he's honking and holding the horn. Well, holy shit! Just as I'm passing by, the guy stops his car on Route 90 in the middle of traffic, gets out, and he's gonna get this guy. Holy shit! I can see the fear in the other guy. He sped off as fast as he could. He was like all over the road to get the fuck away from this guy.
Well, it takes a different kind. I mean, okay, if you're gonna approach someone, I honestly think you should be willing or be prepared to like throw down. I'm sorry, if you're gonna step up to somebody, because only so many guys.
he was gonna.
So many guys will walk up and say, "Oh, you want to fight?" Like, "Oh no, man, what do you want to be sassy? I don't want to fight. Like, fuck you, no, I just want." Well, really, you weren't acting like you're gonna fight. I mean,
I don't think there's.
I haven't been in too many fights, but I was always under the impression if you're brought up, you're gonna walk up to somebody like that. Then if you're gonna,
Oh, it's go time.
yeah, it's go time.
The talking is over.
Yeah, like don't walk up and pretend you're the man, and then if someone's gonna fucking swing at you, oh no, man, no. Either walk up and don't look aggressive and talk to him, or be prepared to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, he was. Talking was over.
The story time it was all done. So, shit. Yeah.
So I think it's more common, and it's happening more often in this province than it used to. That's for sure.
Well, I saw 3 other people having conversations on the road because, the roads they're not shit. It's just the first time of the season, but people were banging into each other. So, shout out to Manitoba Public Insurance. You guys are going to be fucking busy over the next couple of days. I'm sure the hotline tonight was fucking rolling. Rolling. Rolling into each other. But I did get my winter tires installed at 7:45 this morning. So I had no problem stopping,
yes.
and actually I whipped onto. I was going to Pembina, so I left the area here and whipped onto Wilkes and had to sort of beat a train, so I had to go through the traffic circles fairly fast because I could see it coming. And I beat the arms, but yeah, I had to get some good grip there. So I wasn't drifting; I was coming along. But
yes, you had some good tires there.
Yeah, I was. They actually store them there too, so I don't have to bring them home.
What's that cost you?
Like $100 for the year or whatever, or $90.
That's not bad.
To not have to keep them in my house or whatever and worry about them, and they just keep them there, and I call them on my tires and they swap them out and store the other ones. honestly, I mean, everything. I'm at the age now because I think a lot of getting old.
Yeah.
Last little while, and you know,
Well, we're half done.
Well, yeah, more than half done.
You're well beyond done.
Like clock
According
is
to
ticking.
doctors,
Yes, I'm on borrowed time.
You're on borrowed time.
But like, I started to realize there's certain things I thought I'd have as a kid that I'm realizing I'm probably not going to have now. Like,
Yes.
you know, growing up, I thought, you know, you'd have it all. Like, you'd have a boat. And I'm not going to have a boat.
Well, that was our generation, right?
Yeah,
Reach for the
right,
stars,
you know.
right? You can do
Keeping
anything.
up with the Joneses, and I realize the Joneses are as poor as I am, and I'm like, so yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
We were the 80s, Charles, right? Don't do drugs.
That's right. And the people doing that were fucking high as a kite. I know they gave Elvis Presley a drug enforcement badge one time. He was supposed to be leading the U.S. government in the 70s on to be the public ambassador to not do drugs. And the day he went to go there to the White House, he was high as a kite. I'm like, that pretty much epitomizes our childhood from the late 70s to the... well, I mean, you ever watch an episode of Scooby-Doo?
Oh, yeah. It gets better and better as I get older.
Those guys were on fucking acid. I mean...
The mystery wagon.
Or the House of Frightenstein.
Oh, no,
That was that with the Count, and was on the weekends or whatever, and it had Igor and the Wolfman, the flashing lights,
yes,
and you try to watch that now. I mean, I need Joey Coco Diaz as fucking stars for that one. It's
they had to be high back then.
now they're so concerned
What
about
is it, the Munsters?
that's all fine. Yeah, Munsters were early. I was a sick, but yeah.
Sure.
And now you can't have anything that might, influence the kids. But back then, I mean, shit, everything they had on TV was colors and kaleidoscopes.
Oh, yeah.
You watch any kid movies from like the late 70s, early 80s, and it's just like, it's an acid trip.
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
did the psychedelics.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yeah, it's been a long fucking week. No wife.
Yeah, we instead of beer tonight, we're going right to the good stuff. Rye and rum. And,
Is that what we're drinking? Yeah, it was rum, and then this one's rye, isn't it? Did you mix?
I gave you some rum there.
Yeah, it's the top up was
yeah. So we got to get right into this, right? There was no time to ease into this. We had to.
No, it's a weekday, so it can't be up to. Although, I'll be honest. Left here last night, went home, all the best intentions, and realized, oh shit, hadn't fed the dog yet. So I gotta feed the dog, give her time to eat, go outside. So I go downstairs. I'm like, I haven't played video games in a really long time. Because, in front of the TV, instead of watching a show, I'll just go play a video game. I don't have to play very long. Well, I'm playing this one game with Dylan, and I just, it's the longer level. It's like in a first-person shooter adventure game or whatever, Borderlands or something. And I'm like, I just gotta complete this quest and turn this thing in, and it's big ass fucking maps. You gotta drive all the way across and turn in your fucking. You completed this thing and you drive all the way back. Like fuck, 12:30. Jesus Christ! What time I gotta be?
What you doing, boy?
I gotta be at the car dealership at 7:45. Like, oh no. It was a rough, slow morning this morning. So by the time it's 12:30, I'm still sitting downstairs. You go upstairs. By the time you put the dog away, get into bed, fucking whack off. It's like, hey, it's like 1:30 in the morning. It's and that's where I realized I'm not 30 anymore.
Yeah.
I was sitting there on the edge of the bed, had a shower, drinking my coffee, walking up to the car, I drove there because they gave me a shuttle ride back, and I worked from home in the morning. And then they came and picked me up when it was done. I went there, picked my car, and went to the office, and then came home and whatever. But that's I was sipping the coffee at the dealership while they just waited for the shuttle show up, and I was like, I'm gonna fall asleep like right here. It took me an hour and a half to wake up this morning. I do not know how you get to work so fucking early.
Well, I'll tell you this: you're getting old when you're too tired to do it. You're too tired to do it yourself. You're like, fuck it.
Yeah. It's like, no.
I'm just gonna go to bed.
Yeah, sleep is so important. I think my mattress is almost done. I'm looking at. It's not that long. I don't know. How long is a mattress supposed to last?
10 years.
Okay, am I right on?
Good one.
I'm on 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, 9 years.
If you have warranty, it depends on the spring compression that
we have like
has
that
to be compressed more than an
space
inch.
foam on top of there and stuff like that. But I got to pivot it around or spin it around and put my groove on Wendy's side. Because with the space foam mattress, one you can't do is flip the mattress because there's space foam only on one side. You can turn it.
They don't tell you that foam does compress, and there is no warranty on that.
No, and I do feel like it's building a bit of a groove. So if I don't sleep in a certain area, it seems to press my back a certain way, and I wake up and it's not painful. Like I do sleep, but it's stiff. What I really need is I need a better fucking pillow. My pillow's shit.
I've tried many. Soft, down. I don't.
I have a lot.
Can't win, man.
No, I have a lot of problems with fucking pillows.
Yeah. If anybody knows of a good pillow out there, let us know.
I know there's a lot of pillows that sponsor podcasts. I forget what they're called, but if,
I'm willing to pay a pretty penny for a good pillow now.
yeah, no, I would certainly like something that supports, because I have my parents bought me a cheaper memory foam pillow from Yisk, and cheaper as in it was $30 or $40 or something like that, and it's.
I didn't like those.
It seems like
stiff as shit.
Yeah, and you sink way in the middle.
Yeah.
So the foam's against your face. You're fucking suffocating. It's shit. I don't know. It's not cutting it. So what's on the agenda for this evening here?
I gotta go back to the old conspiracy, and
I know we have a bunch I just sent you over the other day, but
well, I didn't read up on that yet.
No, either did
I haven't. I need some time for that one, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the Illuminati.
Yeah, I know you'd mentioned that off air. I think I know enough.
Well, everybody knows a little bit about them.
Yeah,
Come on.
but I know the real shit.
The secret society.
Yeah.
Also known as the New World Order.
Yeah.
Not NWO, the band. Well, is that a band or is that
NWA?
NWA, yes.
All I want is the pussy. Goddamn right. All I want is the... Well, I have an official website.
So the Illuminati, they're basically they're a society opposed to superstition, religious influence, abuse of power. Everything that everybody's talking about right now.
Sign me up. I'm good to go.
Oh yeah. No, they were very opposed to injustice.
Yeah. Well, that's when did they start? When was
Well, it started a long time ago. There isn't.
I didn't bring the science to this conversation.
There isn't a date. I mean, nobody really knows because that's them.
You want facts? This show's not about facts. This show's about feelings, motherfucker.
Shit. But they, it's funny because a lot of people, there was a lot of notable members, like JFK was supposedly part of this.
Well, there's a lot of supposedly. Yeah. Nobody was holding up a fucking membership card. I really.
The French Revolution was brought about by them.
Theory. The French Revolution was brought about by a bunch of. I know that was brought about by a bunch of starving peasants and a bunch of nobles that wouldn't share anything. Like she said, let them eat cake. Yeah, no, the French Revolution was just a bunch of people who said, you know what, the whole world should work for us 10 people. And I have no idea what the tie-in for the Illuminati is. That's not, again, I'm not... Well,
it's very vague. Like, that's the thing, right? And that's why it has all these suggestions of
I have to put myself in the same barrel as most of North America, that I became more aware of Illuminati from whatever Dan Brown's book was there, the Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code, yeah.
Yeah, that's where, and then of course, I became more interested in the Templars than the Illuminati after that. I mean, I think secret societies are secret for a reason.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced that they may, or I still think they exist.
Well, no, they exist. I mean, fucking the Knights of Columbus was one apparently, and my dad was. I mean, they exist. Look at the Templars, the Stonecutters. They're there. I'm just saying though, but to think that, and here's my problem. I was saying with this actually before I went to work tonight, is that. I think that we should find a show on the Illuminati, or pick anything, ancient aliens or something, but when we discuss it, we both have to come from the point of view of being believers, and we have to find reasons to believe, because I have to admit that my automatic response is to debunk a lot of this shit, and I like to think of myself as being open-minded. Now, I have to ignore the fact that a lot of their evidence isn't following the terms of evidence by any legitimate definition, but like they say,
this is what they live on. It hasn't been disproven.
A chance. Yes.
It hasn't been disproven.
You haven't proven to me that there is no ghosts. Well, that's not how it's supposed to work. But so I am open to the idea of us reviewing some material where we build a joint construct of an argument that is supportive of these matters, because it would allow me to expand my consciousness in a direction that I gotta say I was there when I was a preteen and a teenager, And now in a lot of these areas, I'm like sounding like I'm an old curmudgeon saying, that's just a bunch of fucking bullshit and get off my lawn, motherfucker.
Get off my lawn. It's funny that you mentioned those other groups because the Illuminati wanted to join the Freemasons.
Yeah.
And,
well, the Freemasons at one point were
they were the controlling.
Well, because if you were a Mason and had a skill, I mean, think of it this way. The Mason groups developed from the type of groups, the people who say, like, built the fucking pyramids.
Yeah.
Just proving how important that knowledge was, or even in our modern time construct of mind, some people are so dim. Well, they couldn't have built those fucking pyramids. It must have been fucking aliens or something. No. Humans can totally do it.
Yeah.
And think of how powerful those people were that had the knowledge on how to do all that. They just found
Back
some
then,
more
yeah.
tablets
Yeah.
in Mesopotamia
Yeah.
that actually shows that although it was called by a different name, these guys were doing fucking calculus, or what was rudimentary calculus.
Yeah.
That we didn't reinvent for like 4,000 years. I don't reinvent anything. People have always been smart.
Well, the question is, well, how did we become so dumb?
Well, it's not
After
even
that,
just
right?
dumb. People have always been smart people.
We lost that knowledge, though, it seems.
Well, no, back then there was only a handful too, but just think, only the stuff that was, incredibly well made from 4,000 years ago. So it's not like every fucking Egyptian, remember, 95% of them are fucking wearing togas or fucking wraps around their nuts and being semi-slaves or peasants and knew nothing. But the smart people were able to build things that last forever. Just like our engineers today, you go forward 100,000 years and, the Hoover Dam will still be there. The guy who built that designed it to be the next round of the pyramids. And some will think, what, they all knew how to build dams? No, we have a it's called, a recency bias or whatever.
Yeah.
And think that we're so smart and they're dumb. But no, I think that most of the people were dumb. But think the power, I think the difference back then between smart and dumb, or at least I like to think, was greater. Maybe not.
Well, I think of like Moses, for example. He went to the top of the mountain and got some tablets. I think
Okay, that's all. Okay, we can't do an episode on believing the Bible.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I just want to bring
Hey, listen to a burning bush.
I think this guy was
Joey Jesus' fucking brother.
I think he was smarter and realized that in order to get things going, he had to create a society, and a society has rules, and otherwise everybody acts in their own interests, right?
For sure. I mean, and the smartest people back then would have shown up as fucking magicians or fucking prophets. Another one is fucking, what's that Russian guy? Not Nostradamus. Fucking Rapunzel. No, what was that? Rumpelstiltskin. Come on, help me out here.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Fucking, the Russian guy who could read the
rockets?
future.
Oh, Christ.
He made
Zoltar.
he made those prophecies. And he was in jail and he was muttering things and he made those.
Copernicus?
No, but it's very close to that. Oh, I gotta look this up.
Copernicus.
Russian. Oh my god, I would have been prepared. Russian.
Yes.
Future.
Well, while you're doing that,
Yes.
I'm going to give you a little more information about
Yes.
these Illuminati. Their goal was to be enlightened, to be free from prejudice, to
For
be
sure.
moral and mature. Wow, that sounds like a great world. Like,
well, I mean, if you
it's
want
almost kind of Star Trek like. Eh?
read a textbook definition of communism too.
Yeah.
It's great for the people on the right side of the fucking equation, let me tell you. But someone's got to do all the work. Oh my god!
It's funny because there is lots of references, and once you start to look for it, like in a lot of the common movies nowadays, right? Like Angels and Demons, 2009. That has quite a few references to Illuminati. There's a ton of documentaries on them. Even Laura Croft and Tomb Raider, like that was years ago, and they have these symbols and everything in there. That's all related. Like it's quite the thing.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting. I haven't done a bunch of research on them. They sort of like become less trendy. After the book came and went, whatever. It was. It would be interesting, though. I don't know. I think it's always a flavor of the decade, so to speak. Of now everybody talks about the 1%ers, and the one thing that never goes away is people who keep reposting the meme about what's that fucking Jewish banker family that they say everybody works for? The Rothschilds.
Yes.
The Rothschild family controls everything. When you realize that their net worth doesn't even put them in the top 100 people, and like if you want a family that actually controls the whole world, talk to the Waltons.
Yeah.
That's the brothers and sisters in the fucking Walmart group. They're all worth like $20 billion each. Now that's a family that can fuck you up and buy an election and do whatever.
Oh yeah, whatever they need to, right?
Yeah, I think that's Nostradamus. That's the guy I'm trying to think
yes.
of.
I
And
didn't
his
know he was
fucking
Russian.
prophecies. I think he was. But
well, you say that. Well, you know what? It hasn't really lost its flavor because I'll give you a recent movie, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Hydra is a metaphor for a secret society.
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange.
It's a secret
It's
society.
symbolism.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with
secret society. It's tied into.
Oh, there are lots of secret
Come
societies.
on,
Fucking,
man.
Cobra.
It's stretch
That's a
it.
secret society.
That's why they didn't use Cobra. They used Hydra. Government-backed mind control. That's
MK Ultra. That's a whole. I was reading if that document that I sent you yesterday, the 63 documents that the U.S. government doesn't want you to see, although every single one of them was downloaded from the internet from the Freedom of Information Act. It talks a little about the whole MK Ultra experiments and how they were involuntarily giving people acid and shit like that, and seeing how it affected their minds. And again, people get their panties in a twist now.
well, there's lots of that, right? DDT. There's a number of chemicals that were tested on their own people, right?
Yeah, Agent Orange.
Agent
If you were in the
Orange,
military back then, you were basically signing up to be a fucking guinea pig.
Yeah.
And if you were in another country, you were a fucking guinea pig. And if you were German, well, they would fucking Dr. Menzies or Menthol or whatever. Yeah, he just fucking injected.
gas guy.
He says, well, if you want blonde hair and blue eyes, let's start with injecting blue dye into your eyes. And I mean, sure, that's gonna. Shockingly, that didn't work.
Yes.
It really pissed him off. If we know we're going to talk about that shit, then I would have liked to do the research. I still want to get into
another episode, right?
I want to talk about the hitchhiking robots.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about Hitchbot?
Hitchbot. That's what it was. Hitchbot. I think his name was. Oh my god.
Oh, that poor thing. He came to the Americas and he got hammered.
If you want to talk about, again, this falls under, instead of conspiracy, let's talk about real science here. And Hitchbot. Although, in Google, it says Hitchbot 3.
So the Hitchbot what was the purpose? It was supposed to be...
it was a Canadian hitchhiking robot created by David Harris Smith of Master University. It gained international attention by successfully hitchhiking across Canada and in Europe. And then so they took it to 2015. It was really funny. It's a funny looking thing. I mean, picture of, like, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, I've seen the Hitchbot. I saw the original Hitchbot.
Put him in your car and take him across town. A cute little guy, looks like a garbage can with blue legs, blue arms. Anyways, so they took this thing.
This was their first attempt at AI? Kind of?
Well, no, it had nothing really to do with AI per se. What it was just a robot that had a message on it, and it was more of a story of, moral symbolism, because from July 27th to August 21st, back in 2014, they had this thing and hitchhiked across Canada from the Institute of Applied Creativity in Nova Scotia all the way to BC. And then they said, well, that's really cool. And then so they took it over to Germany. And again, Germans, even though they're angry people,
they seem to be very
fucking was able
amazing,
to
right?
hitchhike. A little message on the screen. It says, hi, I'm a hitchhiker. I'm trying to set a destination, just trying to go here and there. Well, and in 2015, well, then let's take it to America. This is going to go great. So they wanted to cross the United States from Boston and have it work to San Francisco starting in about July 2015.
Yes.
Well, on August 1st, 2015, a photo was tweeted showing the photo had been decapitated in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And then on August 3rd, they reported on the Guardian website Hitchbot's destruction. Co-creative Hitchbot was quoted to say, we can see all our data, the tablet and battery and everything shut off at all the same time. So it must have been when they vandalized the robot. It looks like somebody raped it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, there's not a single lighter inside, and all things are broken. So, Hitchbot is a permanent exhibit at the new site at the Canadian Science Centre, and, there have been other experimental robots, but...
Well, did they make a second version?
When I Googled it to bring it up, I saw something about Hitchbot 3.
Yeah, I thought
maybe it was a Hitchbot 2 and a Hitchbot 3.
I thought they wanted to try it again in hopes that society had changed, and in particular in this And in the Americas, it had changed.
It all comes up that, Hitchbot had been, decapitated. There's the picture of the body.
Oh, Jesus, he's just devastated.
Yeah, he looks like he got rode hard and put away wet. It's that's
they took the bat to that thing.
That's so he made it across Canada, made it across Europe, but America. That's why we can't have nice things.
No.
The hitchhiking robot was and then.
I guess it mattered him because he was getting by for free when he should have been paying his way.
Well, Americans, I don't know. They see something and it's just like, gotta blow it up. Then there was a Comic-Con where these guys introduced the sex robot that looked incredibly realistic.
Looked like a Barbie or something.
Yeah, and
it had emotions.
Yeah, and then after the weekend, like the thing it was all fucked up and destroyed.
They had to reboot it.
Yeah, people had fucked the shit out of it.
Fucked the shit out of this thing, and they were the creators were like, we didn't quite expect it to. Oh, geez, the poor thing. They were actually the poor thing. Let's reboot it and make her forget.
The creators of the Sexbot sounded very similar to the creators of All You Can Eat Crab Legs at Red Lobster, where they said, we expected some things to occur, but we didn't expect it to be gangbanged for like 72 hours straight. And needless to say, Sexbot had to go into the repair.
Now I know. Yeah, they could repair her, and their mission was going to be to repair her for the next.
We will make her stronger.
Yes,
we will make her tighter. We'll give her some fucking self-defense mechanism.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I just had a link sent to me. Shout out to my brother Adam about the all-inclusive resorts they're running in Colombia. Have you seen these things?
No.
Oh my god.
Coke fields out in the back, or
no. Well, it says drugs are involved, but if what it is, it's all inclusive, just very similar to what you and I went to Cuba. You go to there, all the drinks are included, and the food is included. But right now there is a company that is running, because I learned a few things about Colombia when I researched this link a little bit, because Adam sent it to me and I was like, this can't be fucking real. And there's the title. It's like there's a 4-day sex and drug vacation in Colombia that's so raunchy the promotional videos got taken down. But essentially, because brothels are legal in Colombia, weed is legal in Colombia, and also they decriminalize cocaine.
Well, why not?
Well, sure, why not? It's a 4-day sex fest called Sex Island on a remote private island off the coast of Cartagena in Colombia. Is advertised as a sex island experience. If you're expected to be a relatively tame vacation, you're in for a treat. This shit is wild. The X-rated Colombia retreat is a brainchild of the Good Girls Company, and it promises 30 lucky guests, unlimited sex, alcohol, drugs, and 60 prostitutes, and transport to and from the island. Wow, they've truly thought of everything they said.
Yes.
But, they had some videos on Facebook, but they actually, on YouTube, but they got pulled down literally because they were too raunchy, and they were worried it might be breaking the law. The trip is legal. Just the video is being shown in the U.S. It was basically like porn. I mean, one of the videos showed a dude getting on a yacht and dancing around a flock of prostitutes, and a massive caption flashes under the screen that says, "Unlimited sex included." Now, that sounds like every pubescent boy's teenage dream.
Yes.
But, so, you're there for 4 days. What's unlimited sex? And by that I mean, how much sex can you have in 4 days?
Well, back when you were younger, you
but I'm saying I can only afford this now at the age of like 42. So, for the price they were paying, which per person they're charging in the $2,000 to $3,000 range.
You could buy a lot of prostitutes for that.
Well, yeah, that's what's down there. The first day includes a wild sex orgy. The second day includes each guest 30 minutes with all 16 prostitutes at the same time. And third and fourth days feature non-stop partying on a luxury yacht with as much alcohol, women, and probably cocaine as your body can handle.
Is there free Viagra with that, or?
Well, that'd be like that Russian oligarch that they found locked up in his mansion with 22 20-year-olds and 17 bottles of fucking Viagra, and he killed himself.
Oh yeah, gotta be careful with that shit.
Oh my god, fucking make you sweat. Yeah, that's absolutely shit crazy. But I was trying to think what the reality of this. So you get off this fucking bus, and you know there was that type of guys like would just go fucking batshit insane. But an hour later.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
what are you doing? Where's the coach?
Like, can we Netflix and chill? Because, Jesus Christ, my balls are sore. I think I sprained my back. I'm not gonna lie. I need rest. Like, I paid for 4 days, so it's I think like a buffet, all you can eat, but like. My God, and they just
at some point you get full.
Well, yeah, and like this chick, and like suddenly 3 more chicks show up in your room. It's like, oh Jesus,
this is no fun. This has become a job now. Like,
and you fucking go away. They lock in the door. They just keep coming. Yeah, I was like, I had a whole monologue run through my head there when Adam sent me the link. Oh yeah. And the idea being that all this sex would be incredibly awesome for about 45 minutes.
Yeah. Then it kind of would wear off.
Then you realize you still got 3.5 full days. And they have like a big like orgy plan the next day. They're like, well, it's 4 o'clock. I go to bed. Well, I've got an orgy tomorrow at like noon.
Even when we were on that 2-week vacation, man, by the end of it, all inclusive, all you can drink. Well, shit, we went hard the first week. Well, the second week, Jesus Christ, I am full. I don't want any more beer, but yet I have to drink my worth.
One of my favorite memories is when we were standing ready to go on that fucking inclusive trip or waiting for the cab to go to Bannis, and the bus pulled up and you were fucking throwing up in the planter as the newbies were getting off the bus, and then we crawled into that back of that taxi and just lied on the floor because we were so hungover, and they took us out for the pig roast.
And I don't throw up, so
and it was just pure
very rare.
gin.
It's very rare for me.
Orange foamy,
fresh oranges all the time. Jesus.
Oh, Mike looked like the Exorcist. No, what was that orange juice? That machine?
The Zumex
machine.
Yeah.
We had hung over, and Mike decided to fill his gut with about probably 2 solid liters of freshly squeezed, heavily sugared oranges. And as we're standing there, and the cabs will show up, Mike grabbed that planter, hands on both sides, and opened his mouth and exercised an orange demon.
Oh yeah, that was
intense.
I've never had such thrust. It was like, whoa.
You were like that record breaking plasma drive that they're testing right now for NASA to get the fucking ship to the goddamn Mars.
Yeah, to Mars.
But no, it was really, and then people, as this is happening, and Mike's exhaling the liquid demons from the previous night. That's when that day's fresh meat bus was just pulling up to the resort, and everybody was stepping off the bus, excited about all inclusive, and they look to their right, and first thing there is Mike head in a planter, just like, oh, is there food not good here or something?
Yeah.
Have the gin. Try the Zumex. I went to that town and bought every beer there.
Yeah. 2? 3? 3 different types they had?
Well, whatever it was, it was like $80-$90 and bought every beer there.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we bought every beer.
And we took everything back to the pig roast, and the whole town wanted to come to the pig roast because we had all the beer.
Yeah. It got dark and we got scared a little bit.
Yeah, well, the cab was only 6 hours late to come pick us back. I think I lost a camera that day too.
It's funny, speaking of these weird things, I just saw a tour for it's a 3-day cruise. You're in a huge cruise. It's a heavy metal band.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, 70s, I can't remember what it was called, 70,000 tons of metal or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it's non-stop for 3 days. Metal bands, just constantly playing all over the free booze.
I think it's, again, those things of where, too much of a good thing.
Oh. Yeah, that's...
can you imagine your hangover the next day at like 8 a.m. they fire up the first band, you're just melting metal screaming through your ears? I mean, I guess, there are probably guys that would fix their hangover. Like, that's what they get jacked up about. I would jump off the boat.
Yeah, I would too. And this is non-stop. Yeah. It's 3 days non-stop. Bands just keep changing.
Oh yeah, I was reading the website. It was like, and I think they're almost sold out. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, it's...
they're doing another one. That's another big thing that's happening right now because with the advent or the increasement of people just pirating everything.
Yeah.
Everybody, whether it's bands or comedians or whatever are making their money from live stuff, and how are they can generate more fucking income.
Yeah.
And one thing is these cruises. The other one that's happening, it's in November.
It wasn't cheap either.
No, it's fucking like it was $3,000 or $4,000. I remember I saw.
Yeah.
There's a Impractical Jokers cruise. It's the first week of November, so it's same thing, but all comedians.
Fuck.
So like, and they're gonna do like podcasts from the live podcasts from there. But more importantly, it's just like it's a killer lineup of like these Joey and Bert and all these guys are going on a boat, and you pay just on the boat, and you can see these guys and party with them and drink with them afterwards for like 4 days straight. Like it's sold out. It's been sold out for months. I was like, I get extra vacation time. And like, what does it cost? Oh, it's expensive. Oh, and it's been sold out since like January.
I got 2 good days in me.
Yeah. Like seriously.
After that, I'm hurting.
Yeah, an epic week for me is like I went to Vegas last year with Wendy's work and my cousin Trevor, and what was really good because we had to be there for the whole fucking week and we had a hotel room booked, whatever, and so your flights are the same as long as you had the time off. We were there so long that we could go every second night, so we still got to go 4 nights. But we also had a day off in between.
Yeah.
That was vital to my success. There was 3 days that were essentially just walking down the strip, sipping on a beer, and then going back, hanging by the pool, and then maybe going that night for a little bit, and the next day go hard all day.
Yeah.
And then the next day, start a little bit later, maybe not walk on the strip, hang out by the pool, and the next day go hard all day, and we go to like fucking like the pinball museum and then the bar, and then come back, and the next day hang out by the pool. And then he was in that course all day, every day, and we're like, we're just, what are you guys doing today? Oh, hangover day, we're not doing anything.
Right. It was funny because when in Vegas in my earlier years we'd stay up late and party, and now it's usually by 6. I'm so hammered, I'm done. Like I'm going to bed. Everybody's just starting, I'm done.
And you say like, I'm not going to start till late. And then you realize that one thing we are like
late is 1 o'clock. I'm hammered.
Yeah, and you're like, because we can drink, but the problem is then you're like, uh-oh. And I find that I'm like almost a 1-for-1 ratio of if I go hard the next day, it's like I don't remember the last time that I went hard 2 days in a row.
I've done it a few times, summer camping, but
I'm talking like
the third,
like hard.
The problem is the third day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, at that point. Basically, my body just says, guess what? Everything out of the pool. You want to drink, you're going to shit your pants.
Yeah.
Yes. You can do whatever you want, but you're going to do it while you're shitting.
Yeah. Do it very slowly.
And that includes sleeping.
Slow movements.
So if you're going to sleep, guess what? You're still shitting. You're going to sneeze? Ooh, you're shitting. You're shitting. That, by definition, is tequila. You're shitting. It's been a lot of shitting.
So back to the Illuminati.
Oh my God! Back to the Illuminati. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to give you a few symbols that suggest that they're still live and present.
Who are these people?
Well, who are these people? Look at the president. I'm going to tell you right now how
it's Donald Trump.
Wow,
he's not a member of anything.
He's not a member of anything. No, he's on his own little planet. But
guarantee you right now.
Even Obama was part of this. Holding his hands up in the form of a triangle, the Eye of Providence.
Have you seen fucking Instagram? Every 18-year-old girl's doing
the Eye of Providence on the dollar bill.
Diamond Dallas Page, fucking wrestler. There's only so many ways you can shape your hands. Maybe I won't be the proponent of believing it.
You look at the pyramids. What are they shaped like? The Eye of Providence.
Shaped like fucking pyramids, because you think it's the strongest fucking shape in all of nature.
Did you know that the top of the pyramids were actually coated in gold? Again, another symbol of, the power of
I just talked to my dentist today. I'm getting my back teeth covered in gold.
Oh shit, you're rich, man.
Well, no, it's because she says it's a standalone tooth. Having trouble with it because half it broke away. During a root canal, so I had it fixed a couple times, and she's like, Karl, if you want us to last, you got to get a crown on it. So then I'm like, okay, well, and having some problems with insurance. No, I got a quote for a bridge. They wouldn't. Okay, I fucking hate insurance companies.
Oh yeah, I know.
Talking about a conspiracy. We tried to get approval from Great West Life to put a bridge in my mouth because I have a gap there, and they're like, we'll fill up this gap and cap that one tooth. Great West Life said that I'm sorry, that tooth that we would be covering the space for fell out when you were not covered under this policy.
Yes.
But I was still with Great West Life, just under a different policy with a different job, because I've had Great West Life for work now for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I was still paying you premiums, just under a different number. They even had the same goddamn stats. And when I gave them a call and wanted to discuss this matter, needless to say, it escalated.
How long did that take to get a hold of somebody?
Not bad. And I had to call them back today because they said that Dylan wasn't a dependent because the
papers are not in order.
Well, yeah, they submitted his claim under his wrong name because his name's actually not Dylan. His first name is the letter.
Conan?
No, his first letter's the letter J.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Sorry, Wendy. So his name is actually J. Dylan Warner, and so under my benefits, because they take it from the legal name, whatever, so it's J. So when the dentist submitted it under Dylan,
they love to do that.
They're like,
I'm sorry, that's spelled wrong.
He's like, well, no, he's like, no, they said you do not have a dependent named Dylan. I'm like, was there no middle name on that fucking form?
Yeah,
so we have to get the dentist to resubmit the form with the first name being Jay, which is his legal name, even though everybody knows him as Dylan. So
I'm at the point now where I wish I didn't even pay house insurance, because honestly, I don't think they're going to cover me. Oh no!
Shout out to house insurance. I just got an email back from my adjuster today. He wants to know if I want anything else in my garage claim. He was just like, "Are you sure you have everything that you need from getting robbed as an update on your claim?" Could you please let me know if you plan on reaching anywhere items? As a reminder, you have only until December 8th to obtain replacement value. So we have to go through my garage and see if there's anything else.
Anything else you were missing, yes.
How can I come back like 3 months later and say, oh, yeah, by the way, I forgot this
Well, there might be
Harley Davidson.
Yeah, there might be the odd thing, but I don't think any big thing.
No, I'm actually...
You probably already got it.
Yeah, my tools are good. I'm going to just tell them to close it down. I have nothing else. I have boxes of shit I haven't even looked up yet, so...
So what does that lose you by claiming?
Nothing. I lose nothing because under my policy, I have a great house insurance policy too. I have as long as you've been claims free for 5 years.
Every 5 years,
then your claim doesn't count against you. So I'm claims free forever. So now if I go another 5 years,
you'll be fine.
Then the next one's fine. So hopefully I just don't have. What you're banking on?
What is that with Porter's Mutual or?
I'd have to look it up. Yeah. A broker just went and found me the best one when I bought this new house. I ended up changing policies and everything. Same, I still went to Hub Insurance, but they went and found one, and they came back and said, this is amazing. Like, you got to go with this. Yeah. There have been no questions asked. They replaced everything. I just submitted my second round of claims was just pictures from Canadian Tire.
What do you got for basement coverage?
The basic
happens.
Plus.
So is everybody
5,000?
Yeah, is everybody? I can't seem to find anything that I can get more. I had initially at 50,000, and now I can't find anything over 10,000.
Yeah, I think
there's some kind of
right around there too. Is just
what the hell?
Sewer backup.
What's 10,000 going to cover? Especially if there's sewer backup.
Yeah,
that's the removal. That's it.
And in my house, this new house, I don't think it has a sump pump. I know it doesn't, or else I would see it.
Right, better get on that.
Yeah,
start digging, jackhammering.
No, not yet. I don't want to blow anything up.
So another symbol. Back to this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Let's jump back. 666 is not just the number of the beast.
Something just sold for $666 that was famous. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It is also representative of the Antichrist and of the Illuminati.
That means they're tied together?
Yes. And if you look at Walt Disney, the way it's spelt...
Oh my God.
W is actually a 6, A-L-T. D is a backwards 6. I-S-N-E-Y is a 6.
Yes, and
666.
The color of the word when refracted through these lenses will increase your propensity to see this color, which is if you divide it by 18. And did you know that if you take your birth date, the year you were born, and add your age to it, right now, it'll add up to the number 2017.
Only happens every 1,000 years. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that a few years ago, so not quite sure on that math. It's unfortunate because it's arguments like that discredit the whole thing, and yet you wonder, is that something that
but you just talked about the existence of a group, but in terms of anything they've done... per se. I don't really know what.
Well, they're supposedly the ones behind ruling the world, right? Although, if they're really these people that are fighting an injustice, then they have failed miserably.
Yeah,
Unless maybe it's just for their little group. They're only concerned about their own little group.
I think the biggest issue I have with any type of broad-based, the typical hardcore X-Files government-run conspiracy type thing, which isn't Illuminati, but it sort of falls into the same vein.
Yep.
Is one thing is that I don't think, and I think there's been studies on it, and I'd love to have a conversation with this sometime, is because Wendy and I are having a conversation based on this, but I didn't have the science in front of me because I read it so long ago, is that once you get a group of X bigger than certain people together, that the odds of keeping a secret is like, it can't happen.
It's 7.
Yeah. And so if you're going to run
you say numbers and you spin it like that. 7 is a very important number.
If you're going to run a conspiracy for any type of government, like people are married, people are getting blowjobs from hookers, and then they say things out loud. People say things on their deathbeds. People say things to their kids. I mean, like, shit, look what happens when you start dating a chick. You hate country music, suddenly you love country music. You're like, yeah, Zoc Brown, give me some chicken fries. Next day, fucking, you're looking for the new kid, and it's like NWA, yo, motherfuckers. It's like, it depends what you're fucking. That's what you love. So you can't tell me that out of all of the people involved in anything, whether it's a JFK cover-up.
So you're saying that women are the ones that are creating these conspiracies? Or?
No, I'm saying they're the ones that prove the non-existence of it. Because whether someone involved in the JFK cover-up or Roswell or 9/11 being an inside job, unless and all of those require like hundreds of people.
Yes.
Hundreds of people didn't keep their mouth shut. Yeah, you just can't. People can't.
Look at X-Files.
Yeah.
They had 5.
Yeah.
5 was a good number.
Yeah, 5.
Yes.
But the problem is we're not that efficient. We need hundreds to accomplish anything.
Yes.
And because look how many things that the government tries to keep secret that aren't even illegal and get out. Like, what doesn't get out? They just released tonight. They just released 1,000 pages of because Trump wanted all the JFK papers released, whatever, just to show. So every document the government had was declassified today about the JFK assassination.
Yeah, but how much of it was redacted?
Well, that's just it. But still, the point being is that secrets just can't be kept. They can't. So until we are being ruled by someone who has a better internal fortitude than human beings, I refuse to believe that the government agency can keep a secret, because they're still, at the end of the day, it's still a dude that goes home and gets blown by a girl, and then that girl wants to blackmail him. Like words get out. That, in a nutshell, is the biggest reason from the governmental conspiracies, because governments are still, at the end of the day, it's just a dude like you and me.
True. But on the other side,
on the flip side of the coin,
on the flip side, you look at Breaking Bad, for example, and
but these are all shows, man. I'm talking real life.
Well, that's this is what we go on, right? We give you
they were on crystal meth.
I give you an idea, and you got to go with it, right? Mm-hmm. He was, in the end.
In the end,
it was you're talking, you're dead. You're talking, you're dead.
Yes. But that was one guy,
calls,
right? And so, that's why the only thing that does last is secrets by one guy. So, for instance, like, we never did find out who killed Jimmy Hoffa. You know why? Because it was like one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, even in Breaking Bad, it was 2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, somebody got told on.
Yeah. And then boom, dead. So, I believe a human being, because that wasn't my point. I can believe a human being keep a secret. I mean, everybody has some secrets, right? But I don't think a collective group can keep a secret.
No, not easily.
Because that's the same factorial that talks about the fact that if you get a room of 25 people together, 2 people will share a birthday. Because the odds are, even though that's 1 in 365, you start banging that down, and once you get past 100 people, it's like 1 in 2.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have like 100 people involved in a secret, that's not a secret anymore.
That's not a secret.
That's a time bomb.
Yeah.
And there have been people involved in that type of stuff. And for instance, things like the MK Ultra project, which involved dosing people with acid unintentionally, or not intentionally but unknowingly, that came out. You know why people can't keep secrets? The government didn't want that shit out. If the government is keeping other secrets, that one which cost them hundreds of millions in losses wouldn't have come out. Right? It just wouldn't have come out. They would have took that and buried it and said, but you know what? Even in the government, you get people working, and there'd be some guy there who'd be like, oh, the people need to know. Like, the breaking point in the chain is people.
Of course.
Yeah,
That's
people-
why they're developing AI.
Yeah.
Skynet.
Oh my god, fucking AI. Oh, I thought about something else about AI today. I know we were talking about the two computers talking to each other and creating a language. It had to do...
God bless Google.
Yeah. Those guys.
Our next ruler.
Someone's taking another crack, or no, they're taking another crack at Google Glass. And Snapchat just released, actually, Snapchat did release, and they were only available in pop-up shops, these glasses that would allow you to take pictures, but they did it so they made sure it wasn't even being hidden. Their philosophy was to get people used to wearing technology.
Yeah.
You don't want it to, it's not supposed to be discreet. So their glasses, which are like Ray-Bans, but had little like orange lights on them, like circles that would, I guess, glow or light up.
So you know they're on.
So you would know they're on. So that people could make the choice, oh, I don't like the fact you're filming me, or I'm okay. And that's what they were trying to break down the barriers. And when they first released them, and they were in these very limited like pop-up shops, there was like one in Vancouver and Seattle and whatever, people were buying them. So then they ordered a whole bunch more, but after Christmas, I guess the demand just died. So now they're sitting on hundreds of thousands of these Snapchat spectacles. That's what they're called, spectacles.
We're at the point now where technology is not limiting us. It's human ethics and niceties and morals, and it's always been the problem, but technology was catching up, and now technology has caught up, and we haven't.
Well, I think people are naive when they think about, you know, Wendy and I were having this conversation, and I get it, but I don't think she sees the other side of it, where she's like, oh, she had a post on Facebook, and I was like trying to share it, and I'm like, oh, it says I can't. She's, oh, I made it not public, and I'm like, why? And she's like, oh, I don't want people to be able to see pictures of the kids. I'm like, our kids go to a public school.
Yes.
Like, and she's like, well, everything doesn't have to be out there. Like, I get that, but just only share it then with the people you want to. She's like, well, this way anybody. I mean, like, well, if you Google you show up anyways. Maybe not your Facebook page, but the fact is that you exist on an online footprint anyways. It's out there. So
you're only protecting one channel, whereas there's other
you
avenues
can just bypass it right away. And I saw we were lying in bed, so I Googled and I said, she's like, well, people have to know where she goes, well, you shouldn't post on Facebook if you're going on vacation because I'm breaking your house or whatever, and they'll know where you live, or I don't have my address in there. I was like, really? And I Googled her. I'm like, there's your address. It's on Canada 411. She's like, oh, like, I said, it took me 1 second.
Well, people have forgotten what Facebook is. Like Mark Zuckerberg, like the whole thing is he grabbed these pieces from all these different systems that are out there, have always been out there, and put it together in a nice, pretty format. And it's even better now than it was when it was first created. So where do you think it's pulling these? It's a spider web upon web upon web. Well, there's always a way to get the info. Always.
And so, and I guess this is me asking, so then why do people care so much? Because I guess my question is, what are people worried about? And then show me an actual example of that happening. Because people get broken into and stalked and killed all the time without internet. So it's not about that. It doesn't increase the likelihood. And actually, we live in the safest time in the world in terms of the number of murders per capita and, you know, kidnappings. And apparently the 70s was like the most dangerous time in the world to live.
Yeah,
we're talking about, you know, kids,
I don't believe that.
Kids
disappearing.
Yeah, like that's where the whole put kids
Remember
on
that show with Richard? Who's the guy on
Unsolved Mysteries?
Yeah, Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
Like that was
there's a
huge
reason
show
in the
for
70s they started putting kids on fucking milk boxes.
Cartons
and now, I mean, when's the last time, and I say this with a grain of salt, a kid who didn't live on Spence Street and was out at 3 a.m. in the quarter of Winnipeg, but when's the last time a little white girl went missing from a neighborhood in Winnipeg? Right? Which what everybody's worried about. You can't send the kids to the park. I know Wendy's parents are big on, when the kids are, you can't let them go to the park by themselves. Why? Well, someone could take them. Well, A, good luck. And B, that doesn't happen.
No.
Like, it doesn't happen.
Well, I don't think it happens any more than it ever happened before in the past.
And statistically, it actually happens less because the population's growing. Yeah. The problem is that when it happens in Kansas City right now, you hear about it today.
Yes.
And back in the 80s, if it wasn't in the Portage Daily Graphic, you didn't hear about it.
Yep. It's coverage.
Because the national news was just about the government.
Yeah.
So there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook, there wasn't something being shared to cause this immediate concern of danger, a perception of danger, which is purely exists only in your mind.
On one hand, it's nice that you have all these ways of immediate communication, and on the other hand, there's no way to censor it.
Well, and people say things are happening more.
But when I say censor, all of a sudden that brings on a negative connotation. It's not. It isn't. I don't mean it to control you.
Because we have the capacity now to know everything.
Yes.
And
we can't. Our brains can't. We generalize.
When you and I were in grade 1, the world's population was under 5 billion. Now it's 8 points, or around 8. So there's almost twice as many people in the world.
Yeah.
But there's less statistical murders. But you think we should have twice as many killings. We should have twice as many everything, and we don't. You know why? Because the world's getting safer. There hasn't been a major world conflict in how long? Since fucking Vietnam. That was in the 60s.
Yeah, so outside of the usuals, right? The Egypt has always been.
But I'm saying, major, in terms of, because remember that was they were sending home tens of thousands of body bags.
Yeah.
Now we hear about, and it's awful, but we hear about 3 soldiers being killed by an IED, and the world get their panties in a twist. Yeah. I get it, it's awful,
but it's nothing compared to.
I would rather have 3 soldiers killed a day than 1,500 or 2,000 a day.
Yeah.
So we are living in the safest times. Now, if that's going to persist, I mean, maybe Johnny Rocket Man in North Korea is going to fucking get his gun off or something. I don't know. You can't tell the future. But all you have to predict the future is past behavior. Right now, the last 20 years looks pretty safe to have your kids outside, to do whatever. Yeah. You know, we put them in a fucking bubble anyways.
We don't make white vans anymore.
No, fuck. But even if we did, they're not picking up the kids. It's just people taking shit from Home Depot to try and build their house because they can't afford to buy a fucking new one.
You know why? Because they don't eat candy anymore. They're not allowed to.
Really curious.
How else are you going to lure them in? Here's an apple.
Love to see how many people we get for Halloween at the new house. Because Halloween itself has never been bigger in terms of the spending on decorations and shit like that. Yeah,
second to Christmas.
Yeah, it's getting insane. I know people are fighting a war right now on Christmas creep. You know what that is?
Yeah.
I heard the term for the first time yesterday, or maybe I heard it before, but
I don't agree with it.
Yeah, people saying, because stores are like, oh, we gotta start advertising, and Target has come on board and saying, no, we are not advertising Christmas
until after
American Thanksgiving, November 26th. We're like, that's it. So the day before there always been Black Friday is the kickoff.
Well, for me, it's Remembrance Day. I don't want to see anything before Remembrance Day.
And that was always our philosophy with People's Jewelers, was to not put the ads up even if the mall wanted it. But Manitoba was pretty good. And Polo Park does it then. That's just... We do it Remembrance Day. To do it in fucking October, we still got a whole Halloween.
I haven't seen a lot of the world, but I've seen some other places. And
I've seen some things.
Well, I'm pretty thankful every time I see these other places that... what they did for us is bloody amazing.
Well, and just in terms of where else people complain about Canada? Where else do you want to live?
Yeah.
Name one. U.S. no insurance. You have nothing. Guess what? You die. Your kid breaks your leg. You lose your house.
Yeah.
So no thanks. You go to Europe. Well, I mean, half the countries there on the verge are going bankrupt. Italy, the unemployment rate's 25%.
Housing rates are
insane.
They've been insane.
Gas is $6 a liter. And then if you are concerned about terrorism, well, that's where it's all happening because they're still on the same continent, right?
You're lucky the bubonic plague doesn't rear its ugly head again because they don't have the sewer systems. They don't have... And
so you got about maybe 25 countries in the world that would fall in place that you feel pretty safe to live in, but none of them are in any way, shape, or form. Maybe places like Norway. There's probably a handful. 3 or 4 countries that would be at par. Learn a different language, whatever. Still the same temperature, still fucking cold or whatever. But they have the universal health care, the same benefits, guaranteed vacation. So but better or maybe just different flavor. It's Canada Light or Canada Minty or Canada whatever. I could live in Norway, could live in Canada. That's fine. But really, it is random universal chance that you and I weren't born in a place where we wake up every day and walk into a rice field and picking rice and hope we're not stabbing on an old landmine.
Yeah.
You gotta think that
machine guns in the background. And
that's the reality for
the majority of the world.
Well, not a good chunk.
If you think in terms of population, right?
Yeah. And then the range from that extreme to even us is a long ways of like, you know, go to a country like Brazil, where still like no guaranteed health care. It's subsidized and stuff, but no guaranteed jobs, a bit more corruption, all that type of thing. So they got great weather, but you know, your kid gets sick, you're still sort of on your own. Now the drugs aren't as bad as the US, but still it's there. Or in Canada, where again, you know, I have a disease that causes me $4,400 in medication every 7 weeks, and I'm out of pocket nothing. And I'm of someone who believes there should even be some user fees to mitigate the abuse. Like, for instance, right now, I think...
Holy crap, are you siding with Pallister?
Well, I don't know what he's saying, but just in terms of... like,
I got a little word there.
I think if you go to the emergency room, though, there should be some type of charge. Or some type of charge
some type of charge if it isn't in a certain category, maybe.
Yeah, like anything that's not cardiac, respiratory distress, and, you know, if you're gushing blood or a bone poking out.
And you need immediate attention.
But if you're just going there to see a doctor because you feel like flus, pneumonias, or any kid under the age of 18 that doesn't have a broken bone or his heart stopped, and I'm saying make it like $50. You know what that was? If you put a $50 charge on there, that would stop 40% of the people from going.
I'm fine, but with that, but then they need to have 24-hour clinics.
Well, yeah, sure. So
that's
fine,
what they need.
Take the savings.
They need a place to go. If it isn't the emergency, then they need a place to go.
But if it's not, why do you got to go to clinic at 3 a.m? Because your kid has a fever. Give him some fucking Tylenol and put him to bed. There was no clinics for 99% of human population. Why? It's that, oh my god, Johnny's the most important thing. Why are you going? We didn't go to, how many?
No, we didn't, but you gotta remember the bugs are getting stronger.
No, they not. Again, that's in the news. No kid we know from anybody, from any of our kids, any of our friends' kids has caught a bug that's stronger. Kids get a snotty nose. They cough, you panic, you go to the hospital. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Give me a real world example that someone got fucking MHRA or some fucking antibiotic resistant drug. No, we hear about it and we think our precious baby has it, and we go to the fucking hospital and they give them a Tylenol after waiting 6 hours and you go home, or you get sick of waiting in the waiting room and you go home.
Yeah.
So just stay home. Your mom didn't drive you to the hospital at 3 a.m. My mom didn't drive you to the hospital at 3 a.m. Just stay home.
Did you see the WHRA just released that the numbers are, since the changes, we've dropped the wait time by 11% or some kind of bullshit?
I don't know. I've spent more time in the waiting room than anybody would care to admit. Yeah. And sometimes it was like, and this sounds awful, and it didn't even bug me because at least I was there and they'd give me on a drip. But I was actually in the emerge hallway for like days at a time. One time in the past, I was admitted on a stretcher, but I was still not in a room upstairs. So I actually watched the world happen there and see people come in. And I got to tell you, it was the best reality TV in my life. Lying there on a stretcher, high on morphine, watching the people that come in there, just looking for drugs, just, you know, God bless them, but panic-stricken parents. And then there was the whole issue of, you know, drunk, disorderly, core area Indians, whatever. But, like, I'll be generous. 3 out of 10, maybe 4 out of 10 people were ones that, I'm not talking people that came in an ambulance, but, like, people that would walk into the emerge needed to be there.
Yeah.
The other ones needed to be reassured that they weren't dying.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having chest pains. Maybe it was the burrito. Maybe.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. So I think if you want to come down, that's fine. Here, it's $50 out of your pocket. Deductible. You know. And then if there's an admission, reimbursed.
Yeah.
But for any non-admitted emergency visit, get assessed, get triaged, $50, 20. I swear, $25 would stop half those people from coming.
Oh yeah.
Some of them are just fucking lonely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen
these old seniors. They just want to come in and talk.
Yeah.
Oh, and they, like the nurse be like, "Oh, hi, John." Really? Emerge?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I think there's some. And I am someone who is like, "Oh, well, you never go to the hospital." No, I go, and I think being out of pocket all those times, I'd have paid $25. You know, that $500, $600, $700 that was spent. If it would have cut down my waiting time by 3 hours a time, take my fucking money and run.
All I know is that I feel taking the boy to the hospital for broken bones and stuff that it has gotten worse.
No.
I was at the point there where I'm like, we got to get a cast on this kid, and we're waiting the supply room. I was at the point, I'm starting to Google how to cast. I started to grab shit, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, you know what? I've fucking been here for 6 hours. I understand.
I got a YouTube video.
Yeah, I understand you guys are busy.
Scalpel, let's do this.
I need some plastic.
Caden, bite on this stick. We're going in.
Some water. And then in the end, what happened was I ended up helping the doctor because they couldn't find a nurse. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait anymore. I will hold this. Well, we shouldn't do that. And I get it. You know what?
Then maybe if we put a fucking charge in for the lady who was in front of you beforehand with her 2 kids because they were up all night and the kid was fucking teething, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Maybe you would have got in 3 hours earlier. Yeah, I think we need to be a lot harsher on the triage.
What I think is, Pan Am specializes in this stuff, and yet you can't. Good luck getting an appointment. And first come, first serve. Well, it's the first 30 people. You got to be there at 6 o'clock.
I've been
and
there.
by 6:05, the spots are all taken.
Yeah, and they say come back in 3 hours or whatever.
Yeah, what the hell, man?
Yeah, no. The last 2 times I've blown my knee up or whatever in soccer or whatever and broke my fucking finger. I went to Pan Am.
Christ, I had to drive to the north end to get the boys cast off and get another one redone because that was the only available spot.
Could be like Rob Behar and just go into Delta Beach and soak it off. 3 more weeks, my ass. Shout out to Robbie there. We'll tag in the episode. It was I don't know. I know Adam is obviously heavily involved in the healthcare system, and
so we'll have him on, get his views.
There's a lot. We got him and his wife actually. We could have them over, both of them, and talk. They are actually very close to. If they can make the numbers work, they're moving out of province. They're moving out to Vancouver Island or Victoria Island. Oh, in BC, anyways.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Good luck.
Yeah. Well, no. The town they're looking at, they've been. Oh fuck! I don't know where my brother's moving, but they went out there and did a little mini vacation about 3 weeks ago. Yeah. On the purpose of exploring if there's a possibility. Housing about 300,000. And
that sounds extremely cheap.
Yeah, well, it is because they're living in the town they're looking at is
they live in a hobbit house.
Well, no, 30,000 people on the far end of the island or whatever. Mm-hmm. Small hospital, small ICU, but because they both have specializations, there was a moving bonus and a retention bonus. Because they're like everywhere else, they're desperate for nurses too. Yeah. So they wanted them to come, and then if they basically it comes down to Adam's doing a bunch of renovations at the house right now. If they can sell. We'll go, and that's Manitoba's loss. I mean, those two.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what scares me. Yeah. What they've done here is they're pushing people out, and as in usual fashion, this province is so freaking backwards. It's frustrating.
Yeah. Oh no. What do? You get voted in yourself, Mike, and it's like you're sitting there, and like the province is hemorrhaging money, and every dollar you pay out, people are saying, "Well, we need that."
Yep.
So, and you can make all these harsh decisions, and then next thing you know, your government has a non-confidence, you're out of work, and someone's in there like in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It's
there's
no easy solution,
and it's not even like implying there's a ton of corruption. It's just the fact that
there's no easy solution.
You can't make everybody happy.
No,
I don't know what the answer is, but again, here we are. We're complaining that you have to wait 2 extra hours to get free healthcare. Meanwhile, we are complaining because you know what? When we were growing up, or when even 10 years ago, it wasn't that long. Oh no, it was, because remember, I was sick in '96. Yeah. It was that long. Just you didn't go, and when we were kids, your parents didn't go. Yeah. The waits weren't long in the early '80s because if your kid, unless it has bones sticking out. I mean, there was dads who would reset their kids' noses or fingers at home. Remember that, actually, yeah. Yeah, you didn't go. The only people going to emerge would be like, fuck, but the problem is, the whole definition of emergency went fucking sideways somewhere the same time they started handing out fucking participation trophies to kids in soccer. And if little Johnny Princess Snowflake gets a boo-boo, we're going to emerge. Yeah. Or if grandma gets the sniffles, guess what? You're 80. You're supposed to die. You're going to feel shitty. Yeah. Life hurts. I'm telling Rylan all the time. He's like, oh, I hurt. I'm like, yeah, well, it hurts. Man up. Yeah. Like, stand up. If you're seriously hurt, I will take care of you. But my definition of serious and, it really hurts. Really? You stop crying. You're just telling me how much it hurts. Oh, I guess, I'm sort of fine. Okay, yeah, fine. Moving on. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a mind fuck there. Yeah, but I think society has been mind-fucked in that way. And I know we talked about when did it become, impolite or non-PC to raise men. And I'm not talking about sexist asshole men.
No.
But just raising or raising someone to be tough. Let me backtrack that, because there was girls growing up that we were growing up with that were as if not more tough than we were. So, show me someone but you don't want to do that because tough implies mean, or
yes,
I don't know what the fuck the word is, or they're not in touch with their feelings and they're not sitting on the timeout bench or the play in the buddy bench, or I think it's okay to be firm, it's okay to be decisive, it's okay to be strong, because I got to tell you, those are the qualities we look for in employees we're trying to hire, and trying to hire kids that are 18 to 25 right now, it's fucking impossible.
Oh yeah.
I was doing the presentation tonight, and not a word of a lie. Some of my words are, in the chart it says, you must be assertive. And I said, as a tax professional, you're going to have to tell someone who walked into the office thinking that they were getting $300 back, and guess what? Your cat isn't a deduction.
No.
And you brought in, you're wrong, and guess what? You owe $1,500.
Yeah.
There's kids these days, they can't.
No, they can't.
You come and tell this person they owe $1,500? Because I
don't want to deal with their angry feelings.
They're gonna get mad at me, and feelings, and these are the kids who are gonna save us from China, gluten intolerant fucking army.
Yeah.
You
know what happened is what went extreme, right? They thought that spanking was abuse, and I mean in some cases it was, but to me it seemed obvious when abuse was happening. Yeah. You're allowed to spank. You're allowed to.
But you should never raise your hand.
Yeah.
And again, but you know what? I think you can be firm. It went too far. You can be firm without fucking... Yeah, you can threaten your kid.
You can actually be firm. Actually, what I learned is you can be firm and you don't even need to spank.
Yeah.
You have to be firm.
Yeah, there has to be a punishment. It doesn't be physical. And you know what? Honestly, there are bigger... Take the fucking Wi-Fi away for a month. Oh my god, there's a million things you can do with kids, but there is no consequences to their actions at all right now.
No.
And it's for good kids and bad kids. There's no... We're running to that right now. Dylan is supposed to be raising funds for this trip, and I mean, I can see it happening right now. He owes $2,700 to go on the Europe trip.
Yeah.
And so far, it works out to about $400 a month.
Yeah.
We're in month 2. His total right now is about 60.
Oh,
60 $60.
Yeah, I know.
And you know why? Because it's just not a sense of urgency with him. And literally, when we walked him through it, after we got him to commit, so, are you sure? Yeah, you're sure. He's and literally through, he's yeah, I don't know. And then he honestly thought, well, the money I fundraise, if I don't go, I still get to keep that money, right? No, it's... And then he was like, what?
It's all or none.
You literally, and that the idea of all or none, and he just literally, you could see him. The ideas were
crushing.
Well, yeah, and it was flying through his brain, and none of the answers came out of his head that fit into the box that kids have these days that are acceptable.
Yeah.
And he literally just walked away a little bit stunned, and he wasn't he's not a bad kid.
No.
But it occurred to him that, well, where's the answer where it says I don't have to do the work, but I still get to go?
Yeah.
And there isn't one.
Yeah.
And that is a perfect example of the issue I run into with some, and unfortunately it's a majority. I don't know if it's growing or not, but I'll say a majority, so more than 50%, but not 90.
Yeah. But
50% of the kids, and I call anybody under the age of 25 a kid right now, that come in looking for a job, more so my last job, because this job here, we're not hiring a lot of kids, but it was, they just, so I need the weekend off, or because we'd hired Christmas help, right? So busy at Christmas. Oh, yeah, so you want me to work every weekend? What's a mall? Malls are busy at Christmas. We hired you for seasonal work, and you said you were available anytime. Well, yeah, but I really need this weekend off.
Yeah.
And it's no, it's 2 weekends for Christmas. You can't have it off. Oh, but oh no, my family, it's our Christmas party on this. I'm yeah, no, but you have it. Well, and honestly, I think I just gotta quit then, and they just walk away.
Oh yeah.
They didn't, but they just didn't get. Well, but you have responsibility. Yeah, but I can't work. Somebody died? No, they wouldn't make it. No, it's just it's important that I go home, or I want to go home, or there's a party, there's a Christmas party, or it's and it's on the Saturday. It's like at 2 in the afternoon. No, I'm sorry. Like it was mind blowing to watch them work through the process in their brain, and like they're thinking, okay, well, you'll give me the time off, and I'm like, no, I won't. And honestly, you quitting, it doesn't really screw me that much because so many sales are just on the weekend that if you're not here on the weekend, it really means nothing to me.
Yeah.
The hours I have for you are on the weekend. So yeah, you can have the next 2 weekends off, but your shifts are only on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And you're terminated after Christmas.
Yeah.
So do the math.
Yeah.
Because technically, I wouldn't fire them on the spot.
Yeah.
Because I fired everybody on their seasonal contracts. We would terminate them all on, like, I think January 2nd. So they just weren't on the schedule.
Yeah.
They'd call, like, oh, do I have any shifts on Monday or Tuesday? No, you don't. No, because we were busy on the weekend and you didn't show up, or you called in sick, or you traded your shift. Whatever it was, you weren't here.
See, I remember one time, because I was pretty responsible, but there was this one time that I had enough.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where Star Trek, it was the final season, the final episode of like seasons of seasons, and my VCR wouldn't record it. Oh, and I had a shift. It was Friday night, busy as shit.
Damn you, Betamax!
They're phoning me, and are you coming into work? I'm like, no, I'm not.
I'm making $4.70 an hour.
Yeah, I'm not coming in.
It's not looking good.
Well,
Picard needs me.
Yeah, Picard. I didn't tell him why.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't tell him why, but they're like, well, we really need you. You know, you said you'd be here, and I said,
oh,
no.
Yeah, the guilt trip because Donnie just didn't want to go home and get high.
Yeah. I somehow they kept me because I guess they thought it was valuable, but
because honestly, look, I called in sick less between the ages of 14 and 19 than I do now.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like honestly, like Jesus, we worked hard.
Damn right. For 470.
Yeah, 470, 485, 510, 505, 515, 535.
Oh, that was good money.
It was like 610 is the end where I finally topped out at McDonald's. Yeah. It's a completely different world now with kids these days. I don't know. And Wendy's saying it more and more. It's just like Dylan is a great kid, absolutely fantastic, but he doesn't have any.
They're all the same.
Drive.
Yep.
I guess, or passion. Like there's things he likes, but nothing that he likes enough to make him sweat when he doesn't have to. I have never seen any of our kids do any work
to
like
the extreme. Yes.
Yeah, work like, you know what, where our dads would say, oh, guess what, you're carrying wood this weekend, we got a load of wood to heat the house for the weekend, you need to carry a half a cord of wood in yourself because I'm going to carry the other half beside you and you're going to work hard.
I'll give you an example. When I dug up my wall to get down to the weeping tile.
No, that was insanity.
There's absolutely no kid that would do that.
No. Well, you should have done
But back in the day...
house was going to collapse. You almost fucking died.
Yeah, but back in the day, if our parents asked us to do that, it was, you're doing it. And asking was really telling, but it was the nice way.
But back it up. How many kids these days are the ones that mow the lawn every week? Dylan has mowed the lawn, I think, 5 times in his life, and each time someone else to start the mower.
Yeah.
and Gracie and obviously Riley, no, but and then you back up. Well,
okay. The norm. The boy's only done it twice.
Yeah. So
in
what
his
about
lifetime?
Shoveling a whole driveway by yourself?
0.
Yeah. Right. Like you go down the list, raking a whole yard and bagging it up by yourself.
0.
Yeah. Kids haven't done that. I can't get a kid to...
Christ, the wife's done more.
Yeah.
With her in her high heels.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, because the...
And not only that, she was aerating. It was great.
And Wendy complains she has no time. And literally, as she's complaining, she'll walk around doing all these jobs that... And she'll, well, you could help. Well, of course I'll help. I'll do,
as much as you can.
I'll do as we can. But, like, we have labor living in the house that is getting off scot-free. And they expect a fucking trophy. And I'm supposed to congratulate them when they do something once.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate it, but it should be
more.
an automatic. Like, the kids will open up the dishwasher and say, is this dirty or clean? And the question should be, you check if it's clean, you put it away, and if it's dirty, put the dish in there.
Oh yeah.
That shouldn't be a conversation.
No.
I can't get them to change the fucking toilet paper roll.
Yeah, it's the same problem here. I'm like, I got one of those simple ones. You just throw it on.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's still never on there.
No,
ever. That drives me nuts.
And
little things like that, right?
Yeah, and Dylan's technically 5 years away from being Like a man.
No, legally, yes, but realistically, these kids are not going to be adults until they're 25 plus. Maybe
But you
30.
still got to start taking the steps towards it. Like I just don't think
baby steps. Baby steps.
Well, when's are those baby steps? Like honestly, take out the school piece and the job, which better change soon. But take those things out, and the difference between what Caden does and what Dylan does, I would assume. And I mean, Caden's a great kid. They're both good.
They're
kids.
all great kids.
Yeah, well, no, some.
I mean, some are, but I have, for the most part,
yeah,
kids are awesome nowadays, right?
Well, they're
passionate.
They're
caring,
nicer.
They're nicer.
But they're fucking lazy.
They're not lazy. They're just not driven. The same way as
I don't know. I think they're freaking lazy too.
Well, and they know they can be, right?
Yeah.
Because we've allowed it, not just as parents, but as a society.
Yeah.
And how do you get away from that? I don't know.
We got it
back to the belts.
I don't know. I think like maybe not belts, but certainly yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like yelling with instant consequences. Okay, guess what? You're grounded, and then because what happens is even if you ground a kid. So let's play it up for example here. Caden is booked to go to a party or a weekend away or something major on Saturday, and then the Caden's of the world are going on Saturday, and then he fucks up and lies about homework or something, or doesn't get it done, or fails something, or whatever, fucks up Monday or Tuesday. So we ground them, or we do whatever, but guess what? They still get to go on Saturday.
Oh,
yeah, they still get to go. There's no fucking recriminations.
Remember our growing up? That was no.
Oh yeah, you're done.
Fucked up,
you're done. Guess what? You're not going camping. You're not going to the school trip. You're not going skiing. You're not going to something. So you know what? You didn't fuck up like that, or they didn't find out. But like it was a different world, and I don't know. We're gonna have to get there. So, and I'm just starting. Right, 13. Gracie's 11. Ryland's 6. I got fucking like 15 more years of this.
Oh yeah. I got 10 more.
I'll be 57 at that point. We'll be sitting here telling
Casting
people,
away,
"Oh my God,
away.
MK Cast Productions needs Joey Diaz to bring his fucking supply here." Anyways,
all right.
Yeah, well, good conversation. I think we're done here.
Yeah, we were getting into we don't want to talk anymore. Kids are killing us.
I'm depressed now. I'm gonna drink and time to get to bed. So, well, always a pleasure, sir. So, folks, tune in. Hope you enjoyed Conspiracy. Mike's gonna go to bed terrified about the Illuminati, and hopefully, if you have kids, you're not in the same boat, and if you haven't had kids, well, then I know you're going to pull out. You're going to, what did Joey say? You're going to stick it in the muffler.
Yeah, stick it in the muffler, yeah. Play it safe.
Play it safe. Wednesday night, you're going to grease your fingers and stick it in the muffler. Well, hang in there, everybody, and keep on musing while boozing.
This has been an MK Cast production.
to the soldiers that are overseas. For the rest of your life you should be drinking for free. Oh well, here's to the chicks So won't make your bed, they'll do you all night, but won't sleep in your bed. Yeah, here's to the hangover I got right now, gonna drink it away with some 70 Crown. Here's to the blue-collar working man, raise your finger in the air if you don't give a damn. Here's to the strippers getting college degrees, gonna donate $1, education's for free.